Well, time now for a look at what happened in politics today. Canada is giving Ukraine another $60 million worth of military aid. The Defense Minister, Bill Blair, making that announcement at the 19th Ukraine Defense Contract Group meeting in Brussels. Now, the funding is part of the $500 million the Prime Minister announced during his visit to Kyiv last June. It will help Ukraine source parts, weapon stations, avionics, and ammunition to set up its F-16 fighter jet capacity. The defense minister was also asked today about former U.S. President Donald Trump and his recent comments on NATO, suggesting that those who do not meet the 2% spending target should not be protected.
We've lived next door to the United States for a long time. I tend to mostly ignore some of the political rhetoric that takes place during their elections. And I think we need to judge our allies, and particularly for Canada, the United States, on its long history and track record of being there for global peace. And they are always a reliable and resilient partner. We cannot be distracted from the importance of our collective responsibility to national security and national defense of our countries and of our alliances.
The NATO defense ministers will meet in Brussels on Thursday. The Environment Minister, Stephen Guilbeault, is clarifying his comments on support for infrastructure projects. In a speech at a fundraising luncheon on Monday in Montreal, Guilbeault said the federal government would, quote, stop investing in new road infrastructure, calling Canada's road network perfectly adequate to respond to the needs we have. But today, Guilbeault changed his tone, saying he misspoke.
I should have been more specific in that statement and specified that it was project like the Troisième Lien, which myself and many of my colleagues have said many times that the federal government had no funds for a project like this. And you can look back and you will find numerous statements like myself and many other cabinet colleagues on this specifically.
And finally, Ottawa is rebranding its carbon tax rebate. It was previously known as the Climate Action Incentive Payment, but it will now be called the Canada Carbon Rebate. The federal government says the pollution pricing program will change in name only and that payments will be distributed this year.